Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel, Suburban Sil. So today I'm going to do a quick troubleshooting video that is all about the bird's nest. Now, I was motivated to do this video because I get tons of requests, usually on Instagram, for troubleshooting problems with the bird's nest fern. And the bird's nest fern is one of my favorite plants, one of my favorite ferns. Definitely was one of my favorite plant rescue videos. So I feel like I've really gotten to know this plant, so I'm just going to tell you a few problems you might be experiencing and what you can do, if anything. So the first tip with the bird's nest fern is making sure that you keep water and debris out of the nest. You can look in there, you can see there's like some little green growth in there. That's where all your new leaves will come from. It cannot get wet and it cannot get dirty or like a lot of soil on there. Once that rots, it's done, and it's going to be very difficult. I mean, it's pretty much done. I never want to tell anyone to give up, but if you look in there and it's black, or you see black leaves, or you see just anything like that, you've probably lost your bird's nest fern. So another common problem is drooping leaves, okay? So if you notice that your bird's nest fern's outside leaves are really droopy, that usually will be a sign of either overwatering or underwatering. So I do think that this fern can handle some abuse and it bounces back pretty well. You're going to want to water it, every couple of weeks, or when the top couple inches of soil is dry. Try to keep it evenly moist, but if you miss a watering, it'll be fine. It'll bounce right back up. And it'll tell you when it doesn't have any water because it'll start to look droopy. One instance of droopy leaves that I recently had talked with someone about was where they had gotten the bird's nest on a few months back and never repotted it, and so it was really pot bound. And so when she watered, the water ran directly through the bottom, like instantly. So now the roots aren't absorbing any water or anything, so it's basically underwatered. Even though she was watering it once a week, it doesn't matter. It needed new soil and a new pot to absorb that water. So if you're doing everything right, but you still have droopy leaves, it's probably time to take your bird's nest and bump it up one size. Make sure that when you're repotting it, I always like to really pack the dirt down in on the sides so that it's really potted in there really nice and tight. I just repotted this one. You won't see very many gaps. I mean, you'll see some, but you won't see a lot of gaps to make sure that the soil is nice and compacted. If you notice that your leaves are starting to look translucent, almost like you could see through them, that's another sign that maybe your watering is a little off and you need to take a look at your watering situation. Is it too much? Is it not enough? Also, if you see brown spots or scorch marks on the outside of your leaves, that means that it's getting too much direct sunlight. Look, this one even has a little bit, right? That looks more like overwatering, actually. See that tip? That actually looks more like overwatering. I actually just picked up this bird's nest fern. The soil was really, really wet, so I just repotted it. Not a big deal. It'll be fine. And so this leaf too, you can see that's an overwatering situation. See how translucent it is? You can almost see through it. Definitely overwatering situation. So back to the brown scorch marks. Too much direct sunlight is going to scorch the leaves and make brown burns, if you will. So you want to put your bird's nest fern in. If you're doing it outside, I would say a nice morning sun situation, afternoon shade. If you're indoors, go ahead and put it up next to a nice window that gets bright light, but not direct hot sun. You don't want that either. So if you notice that your leaves down around the inside are turning black, or if you're not getting any new growth, or the leaves are really like spread out and spindly. See how tight this one comes in? If they're like spread out and spindly and you see a lot of dirt through there, you have a rotted nest. So that's probably one of the main things that I can say about the bird's nest fern. Keep the nest dry, and everything else you'll be able to figure out. If it starts to look sad, you need more water. If the leaves start to yellow or translucent, too much water. Other than that, it's not like a super picky fern. I grow them indoors and I don't have a problem, and I do not have a high humidity situation going on at all. So I love this fern. I hope you like it too, and I hope that you find these troubleshooting tips helpful. If you have any questions, you can message me on Instagram or leave a comment below. I'm sure someone would be happy to chime in and give some other tips. So I welcome that as well. So thanks for checking out this video, and you can visit my website at suburbansil.com, or my Instagram handle at suburbansil, and we'll see you next time.